Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Lolita E. Walker. Welcome to the October District 9 Community Chat. I am so excited to join you this morning. For those of you all live at 8 a.m. on a Saturday, then I say good morning. For those of you all that are watching the replay or forwarding through, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are excited to have you. If you've never been to the community chat before, this is where we talk all things District 9 as related to the Board of Education, things that's happening in the community, any updates, questions that you all asked me between last month and this month. I try to get them back to you. If I didn't know the answer, then guess what? I touched base with an expert within PGCPS in order to get those to you. So today, what we're going to cover is the latest District 9 newsletter. Hopefully you all have received it, so we'll go through that relatively quickly. And we have an upcoming meeting at the end of this month. And so some people have asked me about board docs and how you read it and all of the things. And so I'm going to take you all through how to do that today because, as you all have probably already heard, I hope you've seen it everywhere, but educate, advocate, act together. That is the theme that we are moving with this year. Educate. So educate ourselves as a board, educate myself. I'm always growing. Educate our constituents to know exactly what is happening and where you all can tap in. Advocate. Once we've educated, then it's easier for us to advocate together because we're clear, right? Clarity plus confidence equals commitment. And then act. And we want to do that together. So we've already kind of gotten started on that. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen so that I can take you all through the latest newsletter. Now, here's the thing. If you're not already getting my newsletter, if it's not inside of your inbox, I'm going to put it right here. You go to bit.ly/district9news, bit.ly/district9news. And it's going to take you to subscribe. Matter of fact, let me show you how to do that now. All right, let me present first. I am going to present my entire screen, but which one? Let me, hold on. Okay. Had to close a few things first, but let's open this one up. Okay. So I feel like I'm sharing, oh, wait a minute. No. We don't want to share that one. Hold on. No. Hold on. Present. This is what happens when you go live. Let me share this screen. That's the screen I'm trying to share. Okay. I have 3 screens. All righty. So this screen here, the first thing I want to do is take you to bit.ly/district9news. Okay. When you go there, it takes you to School Messenger. Okay. School Messenger is where you sign up for getting district news. And so you simply want to follow the steps. You want to set up your account, which is right here. Okay. Then it walks you through creating a new account. It's going to send you an email just to make sure that it's you and that you actually want to activate it. Then it's going to take you down to putting in your information and your contact information. And it's going to ask you things like, what are you interested in? So that they can make sure that they're sending you all the right stuff. The reason for this is because you have to give permission for people to send you blasted emails. Interests. Hold on, we're going to go down. So look at this. This is where you're going to come down right here and you're going to choose District 9. Now you have the choice to choose all the districts if you want. I get all of the districts. Maybe you want to maybe have a child or a scholar that goes to school outside of the district, but you also, oh, this is old. We should change this. I'll get on top of that one. Make a note. Change the School Messenger page so we can have the correct names there, but we could also just take off the name. So we'll make that happen. And then you can just click the one you want. So let's just say you really want to just know what's going on in District 9. Make sure you click that, and then you too will begin to get all of the information. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the newsletter that was recently sent out. I'll make it a little larger so everyone can see it. We have the beginning page where it's just me saying hello. Also on the right-hand side, as always, you'll see all of our 21 schools that we have here. And we've talked about this in great length, but we also have a temporary school here, which is Friendship Aspire Bowie. That's temporarily in District 9 for a couple years until their building is built in Bowie. So we welcome Friendship Aspire Bowie to District 9. We're going to go down. Let's see some interesting things that we want to talk through. Let me make it just a little bit smaller. Hispanic Heritage Month. But I want to really get to a couple things that are actions for you all. Now, this is where you can click here because we do want to hear from you about our upcoming fiscal year budget. Okay, so this is where you can complete a survey and make sure you're able to do that. Let me put the survey link here for all of you all that might be watching now. It has been extended until the end of the month. I'll put it on my Facebook page, which it already actually is on my Facebook page. This is a long form. You can also go to pgcps.org and go to the board site as well. Okay. But if you have the newsletter, you can literally click here. Okay. It's a survey that asks you, what are your top 5 priorities as a constituent, so that we can take those into consideration as we move forward with our budget. It does say October 15th in my newsletter, but it's been extended to, I think, the 27th. Okay. So you still have some time. And if you go to my Facebook page, then you're able to kind of click on that as well. Okay. Also, Culture and Climate Survey is open until the 31st. It's important that we understand for our grades 4 through 12, the families and staff are encouraged to fill out this Culture and Climate Survey. So we want to make sure you do that because, of course, we want to hear from you. We're hiring. Oh, I had an amazing meeting, you all, with the parent leaders of District 9 for the parent organizations. For those who were able to come out, we had a great time. So I want to thank each and every one of you all for coming out and making the time. We did some brainstorming, as in one of these pictures, I'm up at a flip chart somewhere, but we really talked through how folks can really stay engaged. We learned from each other, from the different parent organizations. Leaders talked about what they were doing that worked well. We even had one parent organization who received a huge grant to do some things at their school. And so this was just really exciting. And we plan to continue to do that. I do this annually, but we definitely will continue to connect. One of my goals is to have each of our parent organizations active within our schools here in District 9. If you talk to me for any stretch of the imagination, then you know parent engagement, I think, is the foundation for success, not only for scholars, but you can also really help to shift the culture in a school as well. Okay, there's great partnerships that's there. A few takeaways. So if you click here, you can see the takeaways from that particular meeting. So I'm excited for you all to sign up to get the newsletter. Of course, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My mom is a breast cancer survivor. My grandmother is a breast cancer survivor. She's 93. I have aunts who are breast cancer survivors. My father passed from prostate cancer, but cancer runs in my family. And so I'm always here for the cure. And so we'll continue to race and to raise money and to really be the voices of prevention and detection, not prevention, but detection and education when it comes to cancer. So for all of those who are battling breast cancer right now, we are with you. Love you much. Almost cried right there. That's interesting. All right, safety and security. You all can take a read through this. I won't go through it because I'm really trying hard to get to the questions and answers that you all asked. Partners in the community. Yes, I had my District 9 Parent Community Summit. This year, I partnered with Districts 7 and 8, which are also part of the Southern crew out here. And we had a lot of support, not only from nonprofits. Operations Ernie's Plate always comes out and gives groceries to every single family who shows up at my District 9 community summits, which I'm always so excited about. We had a number of delegates that came out. You don't see Delegate Denise Roberts here pictured, but she was there. We have Delegate Diana Fennell and Delegate Adrian Boafo, who also came out to support. And here you can see Dr. Kenneth Harris, who represents District 7. It was really good. We had resources, as always, resources from PGCPS. So if you're not coming out and really tapping into the community, tapping in, you gotta stay connected. And I have so many ways for you to be able to do that. So please tap in. Let's see. All right, here's some questions and answers that you all asked me about mental health days. Students may receive an excused 1-day absence in each semester of each school year for students' mental health. A note from a physician to excuse a student's absence is not required. You can simply take a mental health day. I have gotten a question on what can be true. There's some recommendations on increasing that. So I have sent those recommendations to the administration and we'll await that final decision. But also, here's some links in here about Hazel Healthcare and making sure we leverage the resources that are here. Talking to your in-school counselor is also an option for our scholars as well. The parent view, community service hours. A parent wrote to me and said that they couldn't see the community service hours in Parent View. So I wanted to share with you all, not only can you see it, but your scholar can see it too. So when you go into Parent View, you go into where it says student information, okay? And in that student information, you'll see, I have mine up now, but you'll see the student information, where you live, the general information. In cases of emergency, you'll see the names of the folks that you put in. You can also edit the information there so it can be all inclusive. You can update it and shift things there. You also can see your student's locker information, and right under that it says student service learning. Okay, so you can see how many hours your student has, and if it's incorrect, then you can contact you or your scholar can contact your counselor at the school and determine what is there. You can also see bus information. Okay, so make sure whenever you do service learning hours that you print out your form and have your scholar take it to the service learning hours so that it could be completed. They fill out the beginning pieces of it, and then the organization fills out the remainder. Okay, now I try to post as many community service hours as possible. We recently had a community service project at Stephen Decatur Middle School, and there was over 80 scholars there from District 9 and beyond. So thank you all so much for coming out for that. Another parent wrote and asked for the free lunch program. She's a business owner and she has a 1099 versus a W-2. And she was concerned because she didn't feel as though, or was told somewhere that her child wasn't eligible for the free lunch program. So the good news is that there's no correlation between a student of a business owner and a student of someone who works in a corporate environment. So a 1099 can in fact be used as an income source. Okay. So that is, if you have any problems with that, you can reach back out, but it is true that you can be a business owner. There's some folks that wanted to know what's the process for hiring new principals. You can take a look at that. Buses for charter schools are not, we're not shifting a strategy for that at the current time, but there was a question around that. There was a question around the CTE middle school programs, and if there was any plans to include other school programs similar to the Pathway STEM and trades at the middle school level. And what I did was copy the middle school STEM activities that do exist. So you can click on that, as well as the CTE programs that's available as well. Okay. Also, oh, there was a few questions too around PSAT 8-9. It's that time of year right now. So there was a concern that the test concepts seem a bit more advanced than 8 and 9. And when I went back and talked to the administration about that, um, they actually said that the content that's on the PSAT 8-9 actually occurs in 6th and 7th grades. So what we want to do is leverage the tutoring that's available, the free tutoring online that's available for all of our scholars. You know that if you go to Tutor Me through Clever, then your scholar can talk directly to someone and work out problems, or have them to create problems for them. I know when for word problems at one point, I remember my son being on, and I just asked the tutor who was there to help him by way of just making up some assignments. If you tell them what you are looking for, what you're doing in class, and this is for our scholars too, because you don't have to be their parents. But if your child or your scholar goes and says, hey, I'm working on this concept, then they can come up with questions and help you as well. Okay. We also have some resources that's inside the newsletter of how you can prepare. So it's not only Tutor Me, but it's also Preparation for Success. You can look at that in a newsletter, Carnegie Learning, and Blue Book application practices. Also talk to your school. When I was at Stephen Decatur Middle School, they were on that same Saturday that we were doing community service, there was PSAT training that was happening right there. So they were studying for the PSAT. So make sure you tap into your respective schools as well. This goes further to talk about the preparation for PSAT. The board had our first board retreat for this school year. We did a number of different things. You can see we had a number of different discussions, mainly about the committees that we have for the Board of Education, as well as kind of crafting out what a 90-day plan will look like and getting ourselves ready for this year. I'm super excited at the steps that we're taking for a partnership this year with our legislators for the first time. And we've gotten leaders inside of the room. This was a legislative leaders dialogue, which was the first of its kind. I'm really excited to have been able to bring the chairs of the council, the delegation, and the Senate together to really talk about our board priorities, legislation, some enhancements that we can definitely leverage or think about as we move into the legislative season, which I'm really, really excited about. You can see some pictures and some details there. Also, secondarily, we had a legislative educational roundtable where for the council, the delegation, and the Senate was able to meet with the respective education leaders. So for those committees, and that was also really great to hear too, as far as what bills they were thinking about, what their priorities were, how we can partner on things in advance, so that as bills are written, that they'll be easily implemented into the system. So the goal will be that we actually have dialogue and communication about these up front versus bills being written and then being pushed on the school system that might not be able to be implemented with ease, okay, or extremely costly. So we want to have those conversations up front. And I'm super excited that we have been able to this year, while I've been the chair, been able to have these type of discussions up front. Really excited about them. Okay, just talk to you all about community service. Yeah, it was over 80 scholars there. It was really exciting. We did some work in a library, organizing books. They were out not only on the grounds of cleaning up on the grounds of Stephen Decatur, but also inside of the community around Stephen Decatur Middle School. So if you are in District 9, and you're a scholar that's watching and your school is interested in having some community service, then let me know and let's get a partnership going so we can get folks out there to really help with whatever the school needs at the time. So they not only did trash cleanup around the neighborhoods there, but also, and there's a community center over there, also the library, and they have this outdoor space as well. So just cleaning up, it's a courtyard that they have there as well. So just kind of cleaning that up, beautification. Men make a difference. Hopefully our men who are watching had an opportunity to go out. This was Vice Chair Harris did his inaugural men's event, which was amazing. Dr. Goldson, always super proud of her. In case you all didn't know, Dr. Goldson was appointed the president and CEO of Junior Achievement for Greater Washington. Super excited for her. Did you all know that there's a free financial literacy program that's happening by Good Intentions? So you can also go through here and see some of the awesome things that's happening. It is 10:19 today. So on 10:21, the first session begins. If you haven't already registered, then you can make sure you take a look at the newsletter for that. Also coming up, I will be here. I know that there's some questions around. That's today. So I know that there's going to be there were some questions around school safety. So I'll be there for a while to be able to talk about a little bit of thoughts around school safety. Okay. So if you are in this area, come on out to Oxon Hill Library, which actually sits inside of District 8. However, our District 26 also crosses with schools in District 9. So sometimes, the legislators, we have 4 senators that cross District 9 schools. And Senator Muse is one of our 4 senators. And and then he has 3 delegates with him. And then there's delegates that are with all the senators. Okay. So we have a number of delegates who support us. We have a number of senators, and we have 1 council person, which is Sydney Harrison. Okay. So I'll be there today. I'm actually glad I saw that because I almost forgot. Okay. Of course, free driver's education, guys. Yes, yes, yes. And upcoming board meetings. So we already had a work session, but I want to remind you all, you can sign up for public comment. Okay. You can sign up for public comment. There is another business meeting that we're having a business meeting on October 24th. One of the things I want to show you all is board docs. Okay. So you can go to board docs. It's go.boarddocs.com. When you get there, you'll see the upcoming board meetings. Okay. You also have access from the public perspective. You also have access to all of them as well. All of them going all the way back. Okay. So you want to click view the agenda. Okay. So this one starts at 5:30. What that means when it says it starts at 5:30 is that's when the executive board meeting starts. It used to start at 5 o'clock. We moved it to 5:30, and then the open session starts at 7 o'clock. The reason it doesn't say 7 o'clock here is because when we have a board meeting, it is a continuous board meeting. So we have our executive session within that board meeting, and then we have our open session within that. So there are 2 sessions in one meeting. Okay. All right. And this will tell you, what we're going to be talking about. So when you think about, do I have public comment? You can write it, you can send a video, or you can come in person. Okay. And when you take a look, you can just take a look at what the agenda is right here. All right. So the agenda for the upcoming meeting, we're going to do a community shout out is happening, and you can click on any of these. Anything that has report, you can see it. Okay. So Latino leaders, board member Frazier is giving a community shout out, and you can even see the presentation is already updated. Okay. We'll have a report by myself, a report by the chair. We'll continue to go. We'll look at policy and governance committee report. You can see here that their report is already uploaded. And what it tells us is that the public comment this time is for policy 9100 for our board officers. So if you have any input to that, this is the time. And there's rescission for policies 9500 and 9265. Okay. It also tells you about other considerations that's happening as well. Okay. Capital improvement plan, capital improvement program prioritization process. If you have any thoughts around that, you absolutely should come. And I happen to know that there's a lot of thoughts around that. So this is something that you can talk about, but the administration is really going to go over the question is, how do you identify and then prioritize capital improvement program dollars? And I know that is something that at least District 9 is always asking. So make sure you tune in and get those questions answered. Okay. The administration will be talking about that. And that's really an important topic. Okay. So you can listen into that. Also, it'll just tell you all the proclamations. It'll also talk to you about, for instance, there's going to be a discussion around not only proclamations, but the comprehensive maintenance plan. They're asking for a revision to be made from the board vote that just happened, as well as there is an approval of a change order. So a change order came in for Eleanor Choa Middle School, and you'll be able to click on it and see exactly what that change request is, and the board will be able to ask questions around that. So sometimes, let's say you're not able to come to a meeting, because I always get the question of how can folks give input if they're unable to come to the meeting? No problem. You can write it in, you can send a video, but you can also send your questions to your board member as well, who can ask those when they have their 2.5-minute time. We get 2 rounds of 2.5 minutes each to be able to ask and receive questions and answers from the administration. Okay. So that's another way that you can get your questions asked as well. So what you should do is go into Board Docs and you can take a look at what's the agenda that is coming up. Okay. All right. So let's go back. I know this is a lot of information, everyone. We do have, and I put this in every newsletter, what the map looks like for Prince George's County. We're District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here we are, the biggest and the baddest. The blue right here is District 9. Okay. So the cool thing about this map, let me make it a little larger. The cool thing about this map here is that it also says all of the schools and where they are. And that's pretty cool too. You can see which ones are on the cusp, how District 8 and District 9, District 7 and District 5, we all kind of intersect or overlap a little bit. So we have Dr. Zipporah Miller right here at the edge of District 5. We have Dr. Harris here in District 7, and we have Madeline Lasai Frazier right here in District 8. So we are bordered by those 3 districts. Okay. Education, 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 I tell you. All right, let's see what else we have. Joining, make sure you join your parent organizations. I can't say that enough. Like, your voice is so important in our parent organizations. There's so many ways to join. So it's not just financial. We need your financial dollars, but it's sometimes people are, they shy away from it because they feel like it's too much time. Like, how am I going to find time to then go to a PTA meeting? Well, a number of them are virtual, but you can also participate in class activities. You can volunteer to help. You can donate your funds. There's so many ways that you can be really, really helpful and useful to the parent organization, so that they're not doing it by themselves for the multiple scholars that are at that school. Okay, so any help that you can provide will be absolutely amazing. And I'm sure that the executive team for that parent organization will be too excited to have you. Okay. Also, always in the newsletter is academic resources. And of course, our PGC Board of Education commitment statement. Okay. So it is very lengthy. However, it is just for you. All right, take your time, go through it. Let me stop sharing my screen. Whew. Take your time, go through all of the information. I wanted to absolutely share with you this month's newsletter, the details in it. Make sure you get it for yourself so that we're not speeding through it, but you can actually take a look. You can click on different links ask questions, get those questions answered. We have a new system by way of getting questions answered from the administration for PGCPS, and it's an action tracker. So when you all send me emails, then Tia Johnson, who's my administrative support, will put those questions in your email directly into the action tracker so that the appropriate chief can then answer them. So the chief on the executive cabinet under superintendent house. So there's superintendent house, then there are all of his chiefs, and then their reporting structure. Okay. And then of course you have the Board of Education. So when I get an email from you all, as I told the parent organization leaders when we met, is all things go back to the school. All things. If you have an issue that's happening at the school level, all things go back. So the best thing to do is try to work it out at the school level first. So with the teacher, with the principal, and then if you're unable to get that resolved, then absolutely, you can absolutely write to me. Okay. But what I do with that information, because everything that happens inside of the operations of the school, all things there, is really under the superintendent's purview. So what I do is then have that entered into a tracker. And then in that tracker, it is assigned to the most appropriate chief. Okay. It could be the chief of schools. And then what that person would do is assign that to the most appropriate person, or they might do it themselves. But they then are responsible for putting in an answer. Okay. So responding to that on exactly what happened. Okay. And either they're contacting you directly, they'll loop back in with me and tell me what it is. If it's a question that I think is general enough for the entire District 9 community, then it goes in a newsletter. If it's something that needs to come directly back to you, then it comes directly back to you. Typically, the chiefs or their staff will call you directly. Okay. I get a number of questions about transportation. So when it comes to transportation, by the time you send it to me, make sure that you have the transportation resolution system number. Let me show you all. Hold on. Okay. So the way, oh my gosh, there it is. I just type transportation resolution. It's easier, but you can just go to pgcps.org and then click transportation or search for transportation, which is right here. You could just put transportation right here in the search button. Okay. So when you get to transportation, all things transportation are here, but you could go right here. It says get help, transportation resolution system. And when you click on it, it goes here. So you want to create a request and put in all the information and copy and paste what you're sending to me in email. So somebody might say, hey, I just got one the other day, actually, and it said, hey, my child is a walker. However, I believe it's unsafe. And here's the reasons why. So, and here's some pictures. Okay. And what I do is I put that entire email there with the pictures, and then I would ask for an investigation to be done on that specific bus stop, just to understand the right people, which is transportation, not Lolita E. Walker, but to go take a look at that bus stop and the issues that surround it, and then make a determination. But what is helpful is if you have this resolution number, because that's how they will respond to that issue, because this is a process, by the way. So this is the first step process for any transportation resolution. And most times it's resolved right here. But in the event that it wasn't resolved, then absolutely let me know. Okay. But put this number that you're getting given in that. Okay. All right. Lots of information this morning on a bright and early Saturday morning. I feel like we might have covered it all for today. If there are any topics that you would like to cover, sometimes I'll have an expert on. So I've had people on before about the CTE programs, because there were questions surrounding CTE and applications and all of those things. I've had security on because there's questions that surrounded security. But if there's any details that, I had community schools on because there were questions that were surrounding what resources we had. And this was a while ago. And we talked about how we needed more community schools in District 9. And guess what? We got it. So ask your questions. If there's any details that you want to know specifically, or if there's a certain department that you want to hear more about, or that you want to hear more from and dig in a little bit deeper, send me an email, lolita.walker@pgcps.org. Let me type it here. Okay. lolita.walker@pgcps.org. Okay. Shoot me an email. All right, guys, listen, there's no one who has any questions today. So if you watch this on a replay, then I'd love to hear your questions and get answers back to you. So I'm going to skedaddle and tell you all to have an amazing, amazing Saturday. I will be at Oxon Hill Middle School. Oh, no, Oxon Hill Library today at 1 o'clock. I'm so glad I saw that. Oh, my gosh. I'm sure one of our amazing delegates would have called me and said, where the heck are you? So 1 o'clock, okay? All right, see you there. Bye.